Well, what is the most important transportation project in Hampton Roads? Lawmakers announced today a new standard deciding where the money goes. New at 5:30, 10 on your side's Andy Fox was there as leaders called for this new major transportation reform. Andy?
Stephanie, it's a big deal. It'll be a big deal in January when the General Assembly reconvenes. The top guy in the House of Delegates wants to make sure the projects that best meet a new standard get the money first. Governor Bob McDonnell and the General Assembly passed legislation this year that generates $8.2 billion for roads over the next 20 years. Monumental. In January, Delegate Chris Stolley will patron the next big transportation bill.
House Bill 2 says, how are we going to spend that money wisely? How are we going to put that on the projects that need it the most?
Speaker of the House of Delegates Bill Howell announced this controlling the money bill called the Transportation Priority Standard that considers congestion relief, safety, economic development, determining where the money goes for roads. Speaker Howell will also emphasize these consumer-friendly priorities on our roads.
I think that we can do a much better job in communicating when there's accidents or problems ahead. We don't do a good job with that, and it's easy to fix. I think we can do a lot with synchronizing stoplights. I think that's a great example of how with a fairly small investment you can speed up traffic, you can save gasoline and emissions.
Dee Dee Darden thinks 460 improvements meet Speaker Howell's new transportation standard, just as important as reducing tolls on the downtown and midtown tunnels.
Every little town along 460 is looking for this.
So when you hear the governor-elect saying, well, maybe we need to look at this.
Well, we're really disappointed because when we hear today, when we're looking at safety, economic development, and congestion, like, whoa, 460, it should be our #1 priority.
Portsmouth Mayor Kenny Wright thinks the toll issue is much more important than 460.
We desperately need help over on that project to be able to lower those tolls that are coming. So, yeah, I'm in favor of that.
Norfolk Mayor Paul Frame says the new standard supports both 460 and reducing tolls. Frame says take away the maintenance part of the tunnel contract, which saves $800 million.
If the state just assumed the role that they have assumed for the last half century, which is operating and maintaining the Midtown and Downtown Tunnel, you could drastically reduce the toll and you wouldn't impact the financing at 460.
As you can see in that report, a lot of different opinions, a lot of different views. The Speaker's proposal to be considered in January when the General Assembly reconvenes are really important. Go to wavy.com and click the link to see Speaker Howell's proposals and what will be known as House Bill number 2, probably the most important legislation to be considered in January when the General Assembly reconvenes. In the newsroom, Andy Fox, 10 on your side.
Thank you, Andy. We know traffic is one of the biggest issues for people on Hampton Roads, and that's why we are on your side with a major part of wavy.com dedicated to that. To see our previous traffic coverage on projects, including tunnel tolls, head to the homepage of wavy.com. Just click on the traffic tab at the top of that homepage.